Well, welcome to a rainy and chilly evening tonight. I've got a cup of coffee that I just made. Just had dinner, and I decided to finish off dinner appropriately, which is to have some dessert. So this is my dessert tonight. Drinking a cup of decaf coffee, and I have my heater on here in the background. Maybe you can see that there. It's a Wave 3 heater. It's not very chilly out, but it's just cold enough that I thought turn it on for an hour or two and savor some heat, because why not? I like to be comfortable. So I decided to record a quick little video here, at least quick as far as quick goes for me. I don't really do quick at all with anything, so we'll see how long this video is, but the intention here was to just make a quick little video and talk about this decaf coffee that I have been drinking. So several weeks ago I decided to try out some decaf coffee for several reasons, health reasons, and also because lots of people ask me my opinions about decaf coffee, and I just have not really had an answer. And so I did make a slight mistake when I went out to buy my first bag of decaf. It was in Humboldt County, and the premier roaster in Humboldt County, as far as I am concerned, is a little company called Fogline. So I went over to their roastery. They have a nice little setup just outside of the town of Arcata. And so I drove over there and bought a bag of decaf from them. Now, this was a slight mistake, which I realize I made now after buying 2 more bags from 2 other small companies, because this one is my favorite. Flat out, no way around it, this one's my favorite. It's a little bit odd that this is my favorite because this is a Brazilian coffee, and I generally don't pick Brazilian coffees if I'm going to drink coffee, but it's just really good. The flavor of it is fantastic, and it's a kind of a lighter medium roast, so I like it. I like it a lot. It's just been a fantastic coffee. I didn't realize how much I would like it until I started to try some other coffees. Let's actually show you what I'm drinking right now, which is from a company called Black Oak Coffee Roasters. This is another small company, although bigger company than Fogline is, but another small company. Sounds like the rain is starting to pick up again. It's been raining most of the day today, and it's gotten pretty hard at some points in the day, and then it's kind of tapered off. When I started this video, it was just a very light rain, and now it's really picking up again. They say we need the rain, so I guess this is a good thing. Anyway, so Black Oak Coffee Roasters is a small company that is quite well known in Northern California. They do a lot of different coffees. As far as I know, they only sell one decaf coffee, though, and that's what I bought here. I bought this mostly because it was on sale, and I thought I should just try some more decaf, and so I bought it just because it was on sale. It was a sale price that keyed me into buying another bag of coffee and continuing on with this decaf tryout, which I've been happy with so far. This one's good. I don't like it nearly as much as the Fogline coffee that I started out with, but it's very good. It's what I'm drinking right now. It's a regular medium roast, and so it's a little darker than I would really like normally. I normally prefer a light roast coffee, and that's an important thing for me to always say, because most people like a medium or dark roast coffee. I've actually done some polls here on YouTube and just asked people, what's your favorite coffee? And medium roast won out by a big margin. I think anyway. I should have checked that poll before I started the video, but I think it won by a lot anyway. Whether it was a big margin or not, it was the majority of people like medium roast coffee the best. Now, I prefer light roast coffee, which is I guess kind of unusual to most people, because most people like the medium or the darker roast stuff. That's one of the reasons why I like the Fogline better than the black oak. I will say, though, that this black oak coffee has a really nice flavor and a really nice finish to it. Once you're done sipping the coffee, that aftertaste of this is really good. It's very smooth and low on acid, I would say. Normally I like a little bit of acid in my coffee, just a little bit of an acidic touch, just because it brightens up the flavors of the coffee a little bit. But both of these coffees are very mild and mellow. And I don't know if that has something to do with the decaffeinated process, and maybe when they take out the caffeine, they remove some of the bitter qualities of coffee. I don't know. Something I need to look into. And I'm thinking there might be something to it, because the latest bag that I bought here is from another smaller roaster called Big River. Yeah, Big River Coffee. I always forget what the name is, and I have to look at the bag. So that's what I'm doing right now. But so this one, I don't really like at all. And I don't mean to talk poorly about a company. I happen to know that this company makes a lot of really good coffees. I just don't care for this decaf from them. It's a little bit disappointing. I think, though, most people would like this. Again, very smooth, like the other two. Very mellow, very well-rounded flavor, although the finish on this coffee is definitely a bit charcoal-ish to me. And that's a term that I use a lot when I'm talking about anything that's more than light roast, because to me it's charcoal, because it is. They take the coffee when they roast it to a darker level, anywhere past light roast. It starts to get a little bit of a burnt quality to it, and you can tell by looking at it. It's a very dark color. That dark color is it being roasted to a charcoal type consistency. So that's just the way that is. I'm not trying to be mean about things. I do prefer the light roast stuff. So whenever it gets past light roast, I start to notice that kind of heavier flavor there that I just don't really like. And this one is definitely the darkest of all of them. One of the things about coffee that is a little bit tough to buy, especially when you're looking at a bag that you can't see what the beans look like, it's hard to know what the roast level is. Now, they do have it clearly marked on this one that this is a medium roast. The trouble is that's a sliding scale. Medium to one company might be dark to another company, or light to another company, and so every roaster kind of sets what they feel is medium and light and dark roast. Big River does kind of skew more towards the dark roast stuff, so I wasn't surprised that it was so dark, but I'm a little disappointed at how dark it is. I can open it up here and just give you a look at it. This is it here, and this is a pretty dark roast. This is past medium in my opinion. I would not call this a medium roast coffee. I would call this maybe medium dark, but I would call this dark roast, really. You see that there's some oils coming out of the coffee because it's been roasted so much that the oils drive out of the inside of the bean to the outside, and that gives the beans that kind of shiny quality to them. And again, if you like a medium or dark roast, you probably would like this coffee from Big River Coffee. Flavor's fantastic, very good stuff, but just not my cup of tea, we could say. Not my style of coffee, unfortunately. So let me put this down, and we'll go back through these coffees, and we can take a look at the second favorite of mine out of these three bags, the Canopy Roast decaf. And this one is definitely not roasted as much as the Big River. It does have a little bit of a heavier roast to it. but as you see it, it's not quite as oily looking on the outside of the beans because it's not been roasted too dark. And so to me, this is a much better roast level. A little more than I'd like, really, but a much better roast level. And it also means that the aftertaste isn't charcoal-like. You get a nice kind of berry aftertaste with this one, which I really like. This one's got some sweet qualities to it that make it extra enjoyable to me. I do like a kind of sweeter taste to the coffee, although I'd never add sugar ever to my coffee. I like my coffee to taste like coffee, and anytime sugar is added to it, to me it takes away from the coffee flavor. Don't get me started on flavorings added to coffee. That's an abomination as far as I'm concerned. But this one's very good. Like, I would definitely buy this bag again, and I'm pretty happy that I bought it when I did because it was on sale. Unfortunately, it's not on sale anymore, or I'd probably go back and buy another bag. But fantastic quality coffee, fantastic flavor. It's roasted really well and evenly. Just a really good coffee from a little kind of well-known coffee roaster up here in the Pacific Northwest, or Northern California, if you will. Black Oak Coffee Roasters, fantastic stuff. I've had a lot of really good coffee from this company, and they roast coffee from light roast to very dark roast. So whatever you're looking for, they have a coffee to suit your preference. I'm very happy with this decaf. Now getting to my favorite of this bunch, the Fogline. So this one is what they have listed as a medium roast, and it is definitely a medium roast. I'm parked at a bit of an angle here, and things are kind of sliding toward me, so I'm just going to take my heavy all-metal grinder and set it over here. I don't know why I didn't think about that before, but it was just starting to slide off of my tabletop, so we'll get rid of that over there. Anyway, so this is my favorite of the three, and I think my favorite decaf coffee that I've tried, but I haven't tried that many decaf coffees. This one's definitely lighter roast. You can see it's not quite as shiny and oily on the outside of the beans as the other two, and that is primarily because it's not roasted very heavily, so that holds the coffee oils inside the bean, kind of dispersed inside the bean, waiting for you to grind them up, and as we were talking about my hand grinder, and brew it up to get the flavor out of it. So one nice thing about, I think, a lighter roast coffee, and I don't know if this is actually true, but something I've found is that if you're starting with whole bean coffee anyway, it will hold its flavor a lot longer until you get around to grinding it versus the darker roasts. In my experience, the darker roasts do go rancid a little bit faster because they're roasted so dark and because they drive the oils out of the coffee like we see with the two that we've got here. They do tend to go rancid and stale a lot faster than a lighter roast coffee. Of course, the best thing to do is to grind your coffee to order, because that just helps all the way around with the flavor. But yeah, so these three I've been a little bit surprised about. Now, the Fogline and the Black Oak coffee, I think if you gave me them, well, actually, I should say this with all three of them. If you gave me any of these three and told me that it was a regular cup of coffee, I wouldn't know any difference. Now, I don't get a charge out of caffeine. Caffeine doesn't wake me up. It doesn't keep me up at night. I wish it did. I wish it would wake me up in the morning sometimes. And sometimes when I need to work late, I wish I could drink a cup of coffee and it would kind of keep me awake and keep me going. But caffeine just doesn't have that effect on me. So when I drink these three coffees, I wouldn't know the difference. You could give them to me and tell me that they were regular coffee, regular caffeinated coffee, and I would believe you because they taste that good. There's really no difference. Now, if you're a caffeineaholic, like most people are, and not a weirdo like me, maybe you'd notice a difference in it, in the charge that you got out of it, because decaf coffee has very little caffeine in it. It does have a little bit, but you would probably be missing that caffeine hit or charge or whatever you want to call it. Because I don't have that, these just are good coffees to me. Now, I am a little bit disappointed in the third one here, just because it's a little over roasted for my preference. I'm hoping that somebody will come along and would want to take this bag off my hands, because I've been drinking it all day and I've been messing with it. I've been brewing it a little hotter, a little cooler, changing the brew times on it, and I just can't get it to a point where I like it at all. It's just not, I wouldn't say I'm not enjoying it, but when I get done drinking a cup of a darker roast coffee, I always want to follow up with a lighter roast because I miss that coffee flavor. So right now I'm drinking the middle one just because I have very little of my favorite left. So I'm kind of holding my favorite off. Drinking that, I usually drink this first thing in the morning because that's when I kind of, after I get up and take a bath and get a little food and drink some water, take my vitamins, then I make my cup of coffee. And at that point, I really want something that tastes good. Whereas right now, I'm kind of winding down for the evening. So I kind of thought that this would be a waste. My favorite would be a waste to drink right now. So I'm drinking my second favorite, and it's actually really good. I'm really enjoying this one. Even though it's a medium roast, I just add a little bit of extra half and half to it, and it kind of mellows it out a little bit. Takes off that little charcoal edge. I still get a little bit of that charcoal aftertaste with this one, but not too bad. And so I still enjoy this one just fine. There's just nothing I can seem to do to get this really dark one enjoyable to me. It's a shame, but as you can see, 2 out of 3 is not bad. So I think I'm doing pretty good there. I am going to keep this going. I am going to keep looking for some more decaf coffees as I get around to other areas. There might actually be another roaster or two here in the area that I'm at that I can try out. These two, Black Oak and Big River, are kind of the two larger of the readily available small companies that are roasting here in Mendocino County, and so that's why I started off with these. There are another couple, but it seems like with decaf coffee, most companies only have one decaf on offer, and a lot of them are darker roasted, it seems, which is unfortunate for me. So this probably wasn't very short, I don't think, was it? But it did get across the things that I've had on my mind about talking about decaf. If you're not one that really needs that caffeine kick, there are definitely a lot of good decaf coffees out there that taste fantastic. I'm very happy with the top 2 here and would definitely buy them again given the chance. Big price difference between the two. Unfortunately, the the one that I like the best is significantly more than my second favorite, but I don't drink caffeinated or decaffeinated coffee all the time. I do drink regular caffeinated coffee still too, so I don't mind spending a little bit of extra money for decaf if it's going to taste good. I think there's certain times where maybe I'm drinking a little bit too much caffeine. I know people tell me that all the time. So if I can cut down a little bit for reasons, it might be a good idea. So that's why I'm going to keep this whole thing going, this little experiment going. But if you're on the fence about it, definitely seek out some decaf in your area. I think going with a smaller local roaster that is doing specialty coffee like one of these 3, you're going to be better off that way. Of course, if you just go down to your local market and buy the Sanka that's on the shelf, do they still sell Sanka? I don't know, actually. But yeah, I mean, there's a big difference between this and the old Sanka that you might be used to if you're an old feller like me. This stuff is much better, quite enjoyable, and that's why I'm going to keep searching for it, because it's really good. I don't see any reason to not drink decaf if decaf can taste this good. I would like to find some True Light roast decaf, though. That's going to be the tricky thing, I think. But we'll work on that as the weeks go on. Anyway, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it.